Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday, BESE. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Appel.
Here.
Dr. Armstrong. Here. Mr. Merchant.
Here.
Mr. Castillo.
Here.
Ms. Champagne. Not present. Dr. Clark. Here. Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Hollis. Ms. Holloway. Ms. Mallory. Here. Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mrs. Holloway is here. And Mr. Hollis. We have a quorum.
Thank you. First item, please.
First item is the invocation. Everybody can stand with me. Bow your heads with me, please. Dear God, as we gather here today for this board meeting, we ask for your guidance and wisdom to be with us. Grant this board the insight to make decisions that prioritize the needs of all students, regardless of background or circumstance. May their discussions be fruitful, their decisions fair, and their actions always in the best interest of those they serve. We ask for your blessings upon our teachers, administrators, and staff who work tirelessly to educate and nurture our children. May they find strength and inspiration in their important work. We also pray for the students in our schools that they may be filled with curiosity, enthusiasm, and a love for learning. May they be supported and encouraged to reach their full potential both academically and personally. And finally, we ask for unity and understanding among those present here today. Help us to listen with open hearts, to respect diverse viewpoints, and to work together for the betterment of our schools and our community. We offer these prayers with humility and gratitude, trusting in your guidance and grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Terry Franks from Healing Place Church. Next item, please.
Next item is the pledge.
We have Officer Freddie Burton here to lead us in the pledge this morning. Officer Burton.
Amen. Facing the flag, put your hands over your heart. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Next item, please.
Next item, approval of the agenda. Need a motion?
Can I get a motion? Ms. Holloway is second. Mallory. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item, consideration of the recognition of the community service endorsement recipients. Need a motion to receive.
Can we get a motion, please? Mallory, second. Dr. Clark. Superintendent?
Yes, sir. Dr. Ernie Singleton will make this presentation.
The presentation.
Can we get a display?
Oh, I'm so sorry. About our minutes from last week.
Good morning. My name is Ernest Singleton, Assistant Superintendent, Office of Curating College Readiness. We are here today to recognize school systems whose students perform the highest number of documented community service hours for 2022 to 2023 school year. Please note that students can earn the community service endorsement by earning 80 hours of community service while they are in grades 9 through 12. The following three school systems earn the highest number of service hours. From Willow High School in New Orleans, Ms. Brenda Fitzpatrick, Guidance Counselor, Department Chair, is here today in the place of Mr. Hill for 159 seals issued. Dr. Melissa Langlois, Director of Instruction at St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, St. Tammany Parish, 99 seals issued, was unable to attend. Mr. John Harauka, Student and Alumni Service Coordinator for Ben Franklin High School in New Orleans, 64 seals issued. And Ms. Fitzpatrick will take a photo, and congratulations. They're gonna take a photo. They're gonna take a photo.
Next item, please.
Next item is consideration of the recognition of 2024 Louisiana Public Interest Fellowships.
Can I get a motion? Mr. Burkett, Mr. Harris, second.
Ms. Kelly Thompson, the department, will make this report.
Thank you. I'm Kelly Thompson with the Office of School System Relations, and I have the privilege of managing the Public Interest Fellowship Program. In 2018, the Louisiana Public Interest Fellowship was launched in partnership with the Louisiana Department of Education and the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education. The fellowship allows the recipients to spend the school year advocating for a key education initiative of their choosing. Recipients are selected from the previous year's Teacher and Principal of the Year honorees. At the 2023 Teacher Leader Summit, Justin Templett from St. Bernard Parish and Stephanie Robertson from Tangierville Parish were named the 2023 Louisiana Public Interest Fellows. In August, the Fellows introduced their initiatives to the board. Today, they are here to give us an update regarding the progress of their fellowship initiatives. We will first hear from Justin Templett.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin Templett, and my fellowship project has been to create a writing center at Chalmette High School's main campus, similar to the type of writing centers one would find at community colleges or four-year institutions. The purpose of this center, which we call the OWL Writing Lab, or just colloquially, the OWL, is to encourage effective writing across the curriculum and to provide concrete strategies and skills for effective communication. And all of this is founded in composition theory and research of what is proven and continue to be studied of what works in the teaching of writing. Since we have opened our doors in a former storage area on the second floor of our campus on August 28, 2003, we have served, as of February 2nd, so this number is, I can tell you, inaccurate at this point, students on 206 separate occasions. These sessions, which have been overwhelmingly student writer initiated, instead of solely by teacher appointment, have centered on writing projects from across the secondary curriculum, including argumentative essays, senior research papers, world history essays, pro-start restaurant management oral pitches, and even one novel in progress. We have worked with students of all backgrounds, from those in contention for valedictorian this year to student service under the April Dunn Act. An initially planned and ultimately embraced and surprising function of the OWL has been helping students, many of whom are first-generation college students within our community, navigate the complex fields of college applications, admittance essays, and the scholarship essays. As this project continues, we will continue to work with students on any and all writing that they bring into our doors, compile data on this attendance and writing worked on, and ultimately examine the impacts that this facility has on student success through standardized test scores, grades, and student self-survey reports. While I'm here with you today, the OWL is currently open and working, currently I got an email on the way in here, with students to help them say what they mean and mean what they say. Thank y'all so much for being here today.
Thank you, Justin. It's exciting to hear the progress of the Owls Writing Center. Next, Stephanie Robertson will give her update.
Good morning, and I'm Stephanie Robertson, and thank you for having me here today. My project is a research-based initiative to help music educators and education stakeholders gain a better understanding of music programs throughout Louisiana. So throughout this time from when we started to now, I have been meeting with various music teachers across the state, as well as conducted a survey that happened this past month that went out to music teachers, current K-12 music teachers, principals, and school system leaders to see, the progress and what's happening with music in the schools. Because I believe as a music educator, it is absolutely important to have music in our schools. After holding these meetings, we are in the process of analyzing the data, going through from the school systems and the teachers to create an action plan to help music educators and stakeholders strengthen the programs, to advocate for their programs, to provide resources for teachers needed and whatever help necessary, whether that be mentorship or resources for gaining materials and supplies for programs, to start programs for schools who maybe want to build and grow upon their programs. And so the plan is to go through this data and look to help provide support for these teachers. And so I will be presenting in various areas and look forward to sharing the results of the survey with you all in the future. Thank you.
Thank you both. Next item, please.
4.1, approval of the minutes from the February 9th, 2024 special call meeting.
Can I get a motion, please? Mr. Harris, second, Mr. Burkett. Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, next item.
Next item is a report from the State Superintendent of Education.
Mr. Morris, thank you for the time to make a few remarks. I'll share some information with you. I've passed out copies of some information as well. Just wanted to note that in a recent Stanford study that came out, a national study, Louisiana was ranked as a national leader for educational recovery. Louisiana is only one of 3 states in the country where average reading achievement in 2023 was above 2019 levels. And in terms of math, the researchers actually, this is a quote from the researchers, in math, Louisiana students recovered nearly half of their original loss in math, a remarkable achievement given that nationally students have only made up 1/3 of the original loss. So good news, but at the same time, we know that those results from the beginning are already too low. And so we have a lot of work to do, but I do want to just acknowledge the teachers in the systems, the leaders in the system, parents and kids for that work on recovery. And it's good to see that noted in a national unbiased report, which coincides with what we've seen on U.S. News and the nation's report card. So I wanted to acknowledge that as a testament to our teachers. Next, some of you may have seen the Excel and Ed report that came out recently. Excel and Ed is, a national policy think tank around many of the reform ideas in education. In Louisiana, there was only one of 3 states in the country that made a perfect score for reading and literacy policy. So Louisiana has implemented all 18 of the recommendations that Excel and Ed believes are important to driving student achievement in literacy. That's a testament there to our board, but also to policymakers at the legislature who have carried some of these bills for us. North Carolina and Arkansas are the other 2 states that were mentioned as were 18 for 18. Mississippi and Florida scored 17 of 18, and Texas scored 10 of 18. So policies are one thing, actual outcomes are another, and so we have to make sure that those policies transfer outcomes. But a few of the actual policies that were noted, one, the training in the science of reading for all K-3 teachers and administrators, the universal screener that has gone into place this year for reading for K-3 students, parental notification to parents of students with reading difficulties, elimination of the 3 queuing system as an instructional strategy, monitoring student progress with a multi-tiered system of support, and then targeting students' needs by adopting interventions around the science of reading. So that's good news. We need to continue to make sure policy translates to performance. Want to recognize DeSoto Parish Schools and North DeSoto High School. They were recently named the Founders Award recipient by the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching. Congratulations to Superintendent Clay Corley up there, as well as Principal Tammy Phillips, in not only the public recognition, but they earned a $50,000 prize. So Stacy Mellerine, you did a great job in supporting the DeSoto Parish Schools and earning that $50,000. As you know, mentioned yesterday, we're launching the new Let Teachers Teach. We're meeting with them. That work group will begin next week, looking to identify solutions to improve the lives of teachers, all at the same time recognizing that student outcomes are paramount. But we're going to look for patterns of issues that might be hindering the teaching profession from being all that it can be. Just an announcement, our annual Teacher Leader Summit is May 28th through the 30th. Please put a hold on your schedule. If you're able to attend and be there with us, we would love to have you. That's in New Orleans. We can support you with registration. Our annual Louisiana School Safety Summit is July 10th through 11th. We started this a couple of years ago, and so we're going to actually host it virtually this year, not face-to-face. Special Education Advisory Panel applications will open March the 7th, which is tomorrow. We'll make sure that you have that information so you can share it with your constituents if they have an interest in applying to be on SEEP. And then finally, you have in front of you the 24 finalists for Louisiana Student of the Year. This is a statewide honor, and those individuals on the paper that I provided you this morning go on for consideration as the overall winner. Those announcements, I believe, will be April 10th at a meeting at the River Center branch of the library in Baton Rouge. So if you can attend, we'd love to have you at that event. And that concludes my report, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, Superintendent. Members, any comment? Ms. Holloway?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Bromley. I have a question in regards to the scorecard. Dr. Bromley, the first year of the pandemic. This is an analysis of the whole country, right? Not just Louisiana. But on page 19, they really make great recommendations, state recommendations that you would suggest to our districts. Is this something that goes forward to all districts, this information?
I'm not aware that all districts have this information from this report card. It was posted on some social media, but I'm not aware that all school systems would have this.
It's just a really good analysis, and it's the same thing that we've talked about here. You've mentioned, you've requested. So, because it's getting the money before September at the end, when the money runs out, with suggestions that are given with federal funds, page 19.
Okay.
It's just a good, it's almost like a backup. It really is a backup of what you've been suggesting.
Oh, the recommendations?
The recommendations, yeah, recommendations here for the recovery. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holloway. Members, other comments? All right, hearing none. Superintendent, that's great. Report's always good to hear good news like that for student outcomes. So it's just a matter now of sustainment and just continue to grow across the state. So appreciate that positive report. Next item, please.
Next item is 6.1, reports from BESE members regarding their assignments to statutory and legislative task forces and councils.
All right, not sure how many of these we're going to have today because folks are just now getting assigned to these committees. But if anyone attended a meeting in February. Mr. Burton?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The MFP task force met a few weeks back, and we adopted those yesterday. But part of that meeting, we talked about and was brought forth by Ms. Shumpine that the MFP task force to meet this year to look at all MFP, all of the things that make up MFP, all of the formulas, and to see if it's still relevant for today. So I think what we're going to do is after legislative session is over, we're going to hold at least a series of 4 meetings, and each of those meetings will take on one of the MFP formulas for all 4. So just to relate to the board that that's going to take place, and excited to look at this and to see what we can do to make it, bring it up to today. If it's not, if it's all good, then we'll leave it obviously as it is, but going to look at it to see if it's relevant for today.
Great. Any comments on that? Ms. Miller?
I would like to commend Mr. Birkin and the entire MFP task force, as well as the Department of Education, for working cohesively to get an MFP out very quickly and very thoroughly. So thank you for that work. I understand that was quite the undertaking, but we all appreciate you doing it.
A lot of the congratulations goes to Dr. Brumley. He worked very hard on this, put something together that was acceptable to us from the beginning. So the credit goes to Dr. Brumley, but thank you.
All right, thank you for those kudos. Members, other comments on that one? All right, thank you, Mr. Burton, for your leadership. Any other comments on committee reports? Okay, I have 2 to share. So first one, I really enjoy serving on the board for the special school district. This is the school district that serves predominantly the deaf and the blind children in our state. So the report I have from the superintendent, or we had from the superintendent at the meeting, they're excited that they received approval on their site plans for state facilities for a farm-to-table site that they're going to have here on Brightside here in Baton Rouge at their campus. It's going to bid. They're going to be breaking ground on a new barn for the children. So it's a really good experiential learning opportunity. It's a significant investment using ESSER $3. Great commitment there. They've seen significant growth across both LSD and LSBI in the areas of reading and math since the baseline testing at the beginning of the school year, according to the mid-year data. So they're currently in state testing mode across the district. LSD cheerleaders won the Mason-Dixon Deaf Conference Championship and competed at nationals for the first time. Finally, they've hired a new CTE director and federal programs director, which is going to help to maximize resources to have a positive impact on student achievement. Again, more opportunities for experiential learning for our students. So real excited about that. And then the other one I had to share, yesterday we had, I thought, got a lot of positive feedback on the briefing from the La STEM executive director, Dr. Clint Coleman. The advisory council met in Baton Rouge last month. Just a couple of highlights from that meeting. Summer Dan, who was here yesterday, who's the Regional 2 Director, she spoke on the IGNITE program. That's a program this board approved for computer science to help our educators in that area. Also, Susie Barros is the enrollment director for the Ochsner Medical School. She highlighted opportunities to attend Ochsner's Medical School and discuss collaboration with Xavier University's new medical school in New Orleans. One more, Andrew Yanucho, director of Louisiana After School Network, announced STEM in literacy and Louisiana's first Million Girls Moonshot. She was Louisiana's first Million Girls Moonshot flight crew member. She's from Patrick Taylor High School, Yaranet Abreu, and the La STEM team is going to support her as she attends the conference in San Diego this summer. That concludes my experiences on this committee, which I enjoy very much.
Mr. Chair.
And I hope that you will too going forward. Yes, sir.
You mentioned farm to table, which is near and dear to my heart as a farmer, and also as a former Louisiana Rice Promotion Board Chairman for 10 years. As each successive generation moves away from the farm, that farm to table idea in learning becomes more and more important. People know where the food comes from. So I'm excited about that and would love to be able to tour that facility.
We'll make it happen. Thank you. Appreciate your interest and your support. All right, next item, please.
Next item is board committee reports. Item 7.1, academic goals and instructional improvement committee. Mr. Appel.
Thank you. Mrs. Chairman. On behalf of the Academic Goals and Instructional Improvement Committee, I move to approve motions 1 through 28, noting that motions 12 through 16 and 19 through 25 are notices of intent.
Can I get a motion? So Dr. Armstrong, and a second.
Oh, no, he made the motion.
I'm sorry, Dr. Armstrong was a second.
Yes.
There we go. Any comments from the board?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. I do have a question on item 4.8, which was on the agenda yesterday on this committee, and it's bulletin 741, where it concerns the non-public schools. I want to ask Dr. Brumley if he could explain some of the items we repealed as far as rule, but Dr. Brumley, you and I talked about this, and you are confident that that is addressed in statute. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. So this is something we worked on with the non-public council. They believe, for one, those requirements are still in statute. Those schools still have to comply with those requirements around bullying and other issues that were involved. What they felt like is that they needed more flexibility at the local school level on crafting those specific policies of how they would do that. And so they are still 100% required to comply with the statute around bullying. This just gives them flexibility on how they craft those policies within their local systems.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Other comments? Dr. Dorff?
Going back to 4.7 about the FAFSA, so I did listen to Mr. Appel yesterday and some of the stuff that he said about the FAFSA. And I just want to ask, as we move forward, I understand that we don't want to penalize kids from graduating. I have an issue with that in high school. But when you think about the $150 billion that is available to students, but the first thing you have to do is complete the application. And that doesn't always get done because there are a lot of parents that just don't even know what the FAFSA is. And kids don't know what the FAFSA is. So I'm just asking that, I understand where we are today, but can we look at maybe adding that to the accountability so that the school receives, if anything, the consequence, but not the student? Even looking at interest and opportunities and creating another domain if we need, where a percentage of interest and opportunities, because it is about opportunities for kids, to make sure that maybe the schools are incentivized under the high school once we look at accountability. But I just don't think that we should take that information away from the high schools to the students. And we're like ranked #1 in the completion of the FAFSA in the state of Louisiana. I just think those are great things for kids.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What also we can do is, if you have any recommendations on guidance documents that we provide schools, like I think we need to build really effective guidance documents for schools, principals, and counselors, because we want to make sure that the students and the families have all of this information. Basically, it's just moving it from an opt-out to an opt-in, but we want to make sure that they have all the information. And I trust that our principals and our counselors will work with the families to do this. But I would be happy to work with you and others on crafting those guidance documents in schools that explains this information.
If I could, just follow up on that.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you don't have a passion for this. To me, the message has to be transmitted to parents.
Right.
It has to get to the parents so that they have a fundamental understanding of the opportunities that are available. Not force them into something as we have done in the past. So as we move forward with Dr. Brumley's suggestions, I think we focus on the parents. It's not the children. The children won't get it, but the parents should get it. And unfortunately, as I said yesterday, we have a lot of, I'll call them unsophisticated parents in this state who don't understand the value of the FAFSA and/or are overwhelmed by the technical details in the FAFSA. So I echo the comment that you made, and I would hope that we can do something going forward in the near term so that we can help all the kids in the state. Thank you.
Mr. Bell, I think that's a good point, and I'll charge our college and career readiness team to think about effective ways for parental communication around this as well.
Dr. Bromley, Mr. Castile serves on the LOFSA board, which oversees TAPS. I just want to mention this for your notes, but they're excellent in communicating with parents about completion of the FAFSA because it's required when you're applying for TOPS. So I think that would be a good resource for you.
I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Clark's comments about making a recommendation to the accountability system. Following up on Mr. Hollis's motion yesterday, we're definitely going to be looking forward to engaging all of our stakeholders with that motion, going to the Superintendent's Advisory Council, get that item on their agenda, as well as the Accountability Commission, get it on their agenda, and then we're getting it open for public comment as well. So thank you, Dr. Clark, for the first comment.
And can I add something else that Ms. Appel said that I totally agree with? It's not about teaching the students about the FAFSA. It's about teaching the parents about the FAFSA. Because if teaching the students was going to transition them to where they need to be, we probably wouldn't have failed in school. So again, it's making sure that we reach out to the parents and make sure they understand. And incentivizing the schools to make sure that they are making sure it happens. So if we can put in certain domains and interests and opportunities for extracurricular activities and foreign languages and stuff like that, I certainly think that we can put something in it that gives parents up to $150 billion opportunity for students to go. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that feedback. Any other comments on this one from members? We have one comment from the public. It's Caroline Romer would like to comment.
Good morning. Good morning. Caroline Romer, is that working? Good morning. Good morning.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Caroline Romer, Executive Director, Louisiana Association of Public Charter Schools. Thank you, Board Member Clark, for driving the conversation on this. I regret that while I was here yesterday, I did something that I don't normally do, which is count votes and know when to stay in my seat versus coming to the table and saying my piece. And so last night when I went home, I regretted that I didn't come up and just make some comments, because that's what the association is here to do, advocate on behalf of our members and the children and teachers that they're serving. And so to Dr. Clark's point, I think that we did something, this goes back to 2015, when we actually had less than 50% of our students filling out the FAFSA form, and as stated, losing out on tens of millions of dollars of free money that could lead to less debt for them on their pathway, whether that is to college or to a career, whether that's going to LSU or going to cosmetology school. The FAFSA was a tool to provide students that opportunity to reach their full potential. And what we focused on, in my opinion, is that this is about the FAFSA form and forcing people to do something. This is actually about students' rights to have counseling on financial aid and the opportunities that exist for them and their families. So there's a great report that actually LDOE and the Louisiana FAFSA office put together. I think it's from 2021. Talking about the success they've had. We now have almost 80% of kids accessing the FAFSA form. There is the option to opt out. So all policies can be tweaked, and as Ms. Clark said, I think there are other ways maybe we get a bite on this apple, but we've done really good work, and I encourage you to look at that report. It has lessons learned in it, and those lessons included meeting parents where they are. As you said, too many parents don't even know about FAFSA, what it is. Some parents don't trust giving that information out. So building trust between the school and families to learn about that opportunity, really, really important. And then showing them the benefits that can come from providing that information. So again, I hate to see it swept under the rug, and I really appreciate Board Member Appel speaking up yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't come to the table and back you up on that. I've become like the brontosaurus 16 years into this work. I am the old lady that continues to come to the table. But again, I think this is about students and families' rights, and I do worry that when there is not something in place that requires that counseling, that we will go back to the days where we were once again at the bottom of a list that was not good for our students. I'm really proud that we moved to, I think we're number 2 behind Tennessee, but doing good stuff on behalf of kids. It's about information. And I don't want to necessarily drive sticks and consequences for our schools, but I do want us to make sure they know what our priorities are, what we value, and what our job is to help kids meet their full potential and have the resources to meet their dreams. So thank you for having this further discussion. I think it's a really important piece of work that we're doing that, again, is removing barriers for certain students. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, if you could get with that young lady and see if we could get a copy of that report to all board members, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, I think that was a loss from report too.
What's that?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We also got a request here from Mr. Marcus Thomas, who would like to speak in support of the recommendation.
Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, members of the board, Dr. Brumley. I'm Marcus Thomas, Director of Government Relations for the Louisiana Association of Educators. Congratulations to all you new BESE members. We look forward to working with you as an association, and I look forward to meeting with you all individually. Yesterday, Mr. Paul Hollis, Representative BESE member Paul Hollis made a motion to call for a new accountability system. According to the transition team, that was transition team. LAE were represented on that transition team, and we mentioned having a accountability system that reflects the hard work our educators are putting in every day in the classroom that leads to this student growth that we talk about. We're number 1 in the country for 4th grade literacy growth and improvement. It was just mentioned that Louisiana is the national leader for educational recovery. So kudos to the Department of Education, kudos to the BESE board, and we look forward to retaining those teachers and support professionals that have us ranked number 1 in the country in more than one category. So we look forward to working with you guys at the BESE board, Dr. Brumley and the department. We look forward to working with you guys and extending all of our resources and providing valuable feedback to give our teachers an excellent accountability system. So congratulations, we look forward to continue working with you guys, and let's continue to make some great strides in public education together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you working with us. Any other comments, members? Next item, please.
We have a motion and a second. Is anyone opposed?
Hearing none, next item, please.
Next item, 7.2, Board and Finance Committee, Mr. Birkin.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Administration and Finance Committee, I move to approve motions 1 through 20.
Can I get a second? Dr. Clark. Is there any discussion? Public cards, hearing none, motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item, 7.3, Educator Effectiveness Committee, Ms. Clark. Dr. Clark, excuse me.
On behalf of the Educator Effectiveness Committee, I move to approve motions 1 through 10, noting that motions 1 through 2 are notices of intent.
Can I get a second? Ms. Holloway? Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, no public comment, no exceptions, motion passes.
Wait, one comment, sorry about that.
Mr. Marcus Thomas supports the recommendation and wishes to speak.
Yes. I'm Marcus Thomas, back again. We've always supported an evaluation system that takes a holistic approach, and we thank Dr. Brumley and the department for coming up with a system that takes that approach. We've always said that our educators are more than a test score. So we're very excited about this new evaluation system that we're about to roll out. And once again, we look forward to working with you to roll out an excellent system for our educators. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that positive feedback. Members, any other discussion? Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item, School Innovation and Turnaround Committee, Mr. Harris.
On behalf of the School Innovation and Turnaround Committee, I move to approve motions 1 through 2.
Is there a second? Clark, any discussion? Public comment? Any rebuttal? Hearing none, motion passes. Next item.
Next item, 8.1, consideration of a BESE resolution regarding supplementing grades K through 3 literacy and mathematics with foundational skills in conjunction with high-dose tutoring. Recommendation is to approve.
Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just offer that we would defer this resolution to our April meeting.
All right, thank you. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Ms. Miller, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, no opposition. Next item, please.
That concludes your agenda.
Thank you. We're adjourned.